Hey everybody, it's Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be doing the second installment of my new series about the basics of makeup, and I'm just kind of running through all the different categories to give you just a little bit of knowledge about the different kinds of makeup application and just how I do things, so that if anybody ever has a question about how I do something, or if I skip a part of a tutorial, then you can go back to these videos and see how I did my brows or foundation or whatever. So, as I mentioned at the end of my last video, and I don't know if you watched till the end of it or not, most people don't, but I basically, in these series, I just want to give this disclaimer that just because I do something one way and another YouTuber, whether they be a small channel like me or in the millions of subscribers, that everybody does everything differently. Everybody's skin is different. No two people are going to do something the exact same way. So just because I like a certain way of applying makeup and somebody else doesn't, that doesn't mean one of us is wrong. It also doesn't mean that say if I love a product and somebody else hates it, that they're lying or that I'm lying. You know what I mean? Everybody is different. Just because somebody does something one way doesn't mean somebody else does it wrong. There is really no right or wrong way to do makeup. That's the beauty of it. So my advice is, if you're just starting out, don't get discouraged if you try to follow somebody's tutorial to a T and it doesn't turn out the same way on you as it did on them. That's not your fault. Your skin is different than theirs. You're going to apply it differently with your hands. You're going to have probably not the same brushes, even if you do use the same brushes. You're not going to apply it the same, and it's going to look different. So that's okay. Just tweak it. And what I've done over the years, I've been doing my own makeup for, I don't even know how long at this point, like 6 years-ish, I think. And I mean, I did makeup like before, but I didn't really care about it. That was back in the day when people had sparkly blue eyeshadow up to their brows, like Mimi from the Drew Carey show. It just, things have evolved, especially with the introduction of the beauty community, or at least the rise in popularity of the beauty community. Everything's changed. So what I've done, rambling aside, is I've taken concepts, ideas, techniques from multiple different sources, different influencers, my own trial and error, and created things that work for me. So it's not cut and dried as easy as following a tutorial, at least not for most people. Take that as you will, but let's go ahead and get started with contour, bronzer, blush, and highlight. In these tutorials, I am trying to use mostly affordable products. You don't have to use the same ones I do, just whatever you have, or if you want to go buy something, then probably the best place to start would be the drugstore. So the first thing I'm going to do is contour. Now, bronzer and contour are not the same thing. I've already done a video about this. I'll link it below if you're interested in watching that, but basically, to re-explain everything, the way that I know blush and, or, hold on. The way I know bronzer and contour, I'm going to explain it to you. So, contour, generally, depending on your skin tone, it's the hardest thing I think about bronzer and contour is finding one that works with your skin tone. So contour is the hollowing out of the points of your face to make other features stand out. So when you contour the inner part of your cheekbone right here, then that makes your jawline and in the top, like your cheekbone, to stand out. Which is also why you apply highlighter to your cheekbone, to make it stand out, to enhance your facial features. And also you can contour the sides of your nose to make your nose look skinnier, or maybe alter the shape a little bit if it's kind of, not so straight. And then you can also contour the top of your forehead to make it appear smaller. Of course, you don't have to contour if you don't want to. You don't have to bronze if you don't want to. There's no rules in makeup, like I said before, but basically, that's why that you would contour. And bronzer is generally a shimmery product, not always, but you apply it to, bronzer is kind of in between contour and highlighter. You apply it to the places that are the high points that would get sun most of the times, like the top of your cheekbones, your forehead, I do it across the bridge of my nose. just generally on the outsides to make your skin appear to have that glow, but also some color. So as you can see, I have all my makeup on except for those things that I'm going to show you today because I'm going to demonstrate them. But my skin right now is looking pretty flat because I don't have, all I have on is foundation and concealer and powder. So it's looking flat. The makeup takes away the natural shadows. So we're going to add those back in, add some color back in, and that's the purpose of all these. So I'm going to do a contour first. I honestly, on a day-to-day basis, I do not contour anymore. I used to, like, have to every single day. I am using this e.l.f. contour palette, and this is the little 4-pan thing, and it had the shimmery highlighter, well, it's kind of close to my skin tone powder, but if you have a deeper skin tone, you can probably use this as a highlighter. And then this shade right here that I completely used up, that I used as bronzer, but this one I use for contour. And I haven't moved these around. They are in the same place as when you buy a fresh one. I'm waiting to use up maybe one more of them, and I'm going to consolidate a couple of these types of palettes, because these ones from e.l.f., the things pop out so you can mix and match. But yeah, so I'm going to be using this shade today. This is a cooler toned powder, so that's what you want to use for contour. It's because shadows naturally are grayish, right? So you want to use something that's cool tone, looks slightly gray, but you want to be careful because some products, especially depending on your undertone of your skin, can look a little bit muddy, dirty. So if you try one, don't give up, just find a different one. But yeah, and it takes a little bit. It's really hard for a lot of people to figure out whether or not a product is warm tone or cool tone. It just takes some practice, I guess. There are videos. I know Marlena from Makeup Geek, she did a video a long time ago about how to tell the difference between warm and cool tones. So maybe go look that up, check it out. I'll try to link it below if I can remember, and you can check that out and kind of help you determine whether a powder is cool tone or warm tone. And you can also do all of these things with cream. I'm thinking about doing a video about cream products because I have enough to be able to do that. I did have a video of doing a full face of cream products, so go check that out if you want to know how to do all this with cream. I don't prefer that method, honestly. I am a full coverage, cake on the powder kind of girl. I know some people might not be, but that's how I am. So I'm going to use this bronzer shade right here, and then the brush I'm going to use is this one from Real Techniques. It is called the contour brush. It's a perfect size for what I use it for. It's a pretty small compared to this one is their powder brush. So you can see it's pretty small compared to that, and you can put the product right on the tip of it and put it right into where you want it, and then turn it on its side and blend it out to get more surface area. And that's another thing too to learn. It takes a while of practice, is multitasking your brushes. So what I'm going to do is, you can see that this pan has like a dip or straight in the middle, because I take the brush and just dip it, do like 1 or 2 dabs, especially if you're pale as a ghost like me. Just barely tap it in there, tap off the excess, because you do not want too much contour. It's not like highlighter, you can't have too much highlighter, but you can't have too much contour, okay? So I'm going to, if you can't find where, wow, I'm looking cakey, I need setting spray. But if you can't find where to put this, take your finger and feel where you can feel where the top of your cheekbone is. It's usually right level with the top of your ear. Feel that, and then go down a little bit to where it starts to sink in, where it would be like the top of where your teeth are, kind of. And apply it right underneath of that. You don't want it all the way down here, like where the bottom of your ear is, because it's too far down. It's going to make you look sunk in. So if you're in doubt, apply it higher, just not on top of the very tip of your cheekbone. So I'm going to put mine right here, and I'm just applying it straight down. And a good rule of thumb, you can, depending on your face shape and everything, you can adjust this to where it looks better. But I usually stop right at the edge of where my eye is, right here. And I usually do this with my glasses off, but I'm just trying to be able to show you a little better. So I just apply it straight back and forth like this, and stop at the corner of my eye where where your face turns from the side to the front, you know what I mean? And just go like that, and then you can take the brush, and I would blend it upwards versus downwards, because like I said before, if you apply it too far down, it's going to make you look kind of, I don't know, it's just weird. So apply it higher than you think you need to. Then I'm going to go on to the other side. I didn't tap it off very good that time, and it looks like I have a lot going on there. And let me show you what I mean about finding it this way. Some people will tell you to make a fish face. It is, especially for my face shape, if you have like that squarish, I guess my face could be heart, like squarish heart shaped, I guess, I don't know. But if I go like this, it's telling me to apply it way down here, and I applied it up here. So I wouldn't necessarily go by that. I would go by your natural face shape. Then just go back and blend it out. I did a little bit darker on this side on accident, but oh well. And if you do use too much contour or bronzer or anything, what you can do is go over it with your setting powder or like a skin toned face powder, and it'll lighten it up a little bit. Let me show you how I do my nose. So I don't, like I said, I don't always do this. Let me, actually, wait a minute. Okay, zooming you in so you can see kind of how I do my nose. I don't remember how many times I've done this on camera, but like I said a minute ago about multitasking your brushes. So when I do my nose, I don't reach for a different brush. I know if you want to, you can. You can probably do this with an eyeshadow blending brush. But what I do is I take the brush in my hands like this and I pinch it and make it flat. It kind of turns it into like a fan-shaped brush. And I dip it in just a tiny, tiny bit, like just a little bit on the tips of it to kind of tap it off. Don't let go of it. And then I go down the side of my nose. You can kind of see where if you follow your eyebrow down, you'll want to follow this line right there. And just put it in straight down this way. And you want to bring it up to your brow so that it's kind of one continuous, because your natural shadow that goes this way is going to be up to your brow bone anyways. So just pull that down and then let go of the brush, let it fan out, and very, very lightly, just with the bristles barely touching your skin, just blend it out. And then do the same thing for the other side. So there's a line there, and then you'll just want to take the brush and blend it again very carefully, because you don't want to get this too far. See, it's okay if you blend it out over a larger surface area on the side of your face, but over your nose is going to make your nose look really dirty if you go too wacky with the blending. And you can see that made my nose look a little more, thin. Which again, you don't have to. And some people contour over the bridge of their nose too, and I don't do that. I don't know. And then also, it is a thing, I haven't done it, I've seen people do it before, but you can take that brush again like that and go underneath of your lip to make it look fuller. I don't feel like I have to do that, but if you want to, you can. If you try it, see how it looks. And then next for bronzer, I'm going to use this one from Wet n Wild. It's their Color Icon bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. In a couple videos I have mentioned how I was surprised it didn't hit pan yet, and I finally did hit pan on it. So this one is a good shade for my skin tone if you're very fair. I believe they have a darker one. I don't think who else has good bronzers. Physicians Formula has the butter bronzer. I don't particularly reach for that because I got the lightest one, and it's like so light it doesn't even show up on my skin. So I would definitely suggest, even if you're very pale, to get the medium one. But I used this with this Real Techniques blush brush. I don't know if they have particularly a bronzer brush, but this is what I use this for. So bronzer, you're going to, like I said before, I don't usually do these at the same time, like bronzer and contour. I keep wanting to call it blush. Bronzer and contour at the same time. You can. It doesn't really matter. It's just extra layers. So what I do is I take this and tap it into the bronzer a few times, and then I go, I need my mirror, and then I go around this area on the side of my face. So I'll take it up this way over top of where I would put blush and highlighter, just a little bit above the contour. Because again, the purpose of bronzer is to make the features stand out and have a little bit of color to them, versus just one shade of pale all over your face, and you know. And then I take it up onto the side like that. And same on the other side. Basically, it's giving your face some more dimension besides just the contour. And then I put I put bronzer on my forehead more than I do contour. So I do this side, and then I do the other side. And it kind of blends up into your hairline a little bit. And then, if you want, you can go down your chin area like this. I'm going to bring it down onto your neck too, just to make it more seamless. Especially if you're like me and you always forget to blend your foundation down to your neck. So doing that helps. And then I do this, you don't have to, but I take a little bit of it and put it on the tip of the brush and go down my nose, just to give that a little bit of color, because I feel like my nose can kind of stand out underneath of all the makeup, so, or it looks kind of bright white. If, you know, if you have all this contour and blush and bronzer going on around the outside and then your nose is just bare, kind of, you know what I mean, it kind of blends in a little better if you put something on it. But I don't like highlighter on my nose, so it's, you know, whatever you prefer. And then for blush, I'm going to be using the Milani blush in Luminoso. This is like the oldest blush I have in my collection. It is an amazing blush for so many different skin tones. I have never heard anybody saying that this is not good for their skin tone. I mean, maybe if you're like really, really deep, I don't know. I've never seen anybody deep using this. I retract my previous statement. But if you have a deep skin and you've tried this, let me know so that I can know to recommend it or not. But this is just a good universal color. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, it's kind of in the middle. It's like a peachy pink. It is a little warm, but it's not. Some cool tone blushes can look really weird on me, even though my skin is more neutral than cool or warm, so, you know. But I use this, any blush, really. I've been liking this for that. The Wet n Wild, I don't even know what this is called. We don't put names on them, but it's this one that has kind of like an angled shape, and a lot of people use these for contour, which you can too, because it's a good shape to get in there, and then it's really fluffy so you can blend it out. But I use this for blush because it's really soft, and some blush brushes can be too hard and like kick a bunch of powder. So I'll take this, and I hope I wiped it off last time I used it. But I'll take this and go into that just a couple times, back and forth. This brush you can load up with product because it doesn't stick as much as other brushes. Anything in this line from Wet n Wild is going to do that, but I take it right straight onto my cheekbone. So just like this. It is a little bit harder because I have my glasses on, but I just want you to be able to see. And me to be able to see most of it well. I just take it like that, and again, like I said with the contour, kind of stop it where it meets your eye, like your eyeball. And that's going right over the whole cheekbone area. Do not smile and put it here, because then if you smile, it lifts up the area, and then once you apply it and you relax your face, you're not smiling all day, you know. So I mean, some people do, but those people are weird, right? So when you smile, it lifts it up, and but then once you apply it and you drop it down, it makes you look kind of droopy. So just apply it with a normal face. Don't make any weird faces. Although some face shapes, it does serve you well to apply it straight on the apples of your cheeks, but mine is not one of those. So do the same on the other side. And if you want, you can, especially if you're not wearing bronzer, you can bring your blush up the side just a little bit. Kind of does that bronzer effect, but without using it like that. And this brush is just a good shape for this. You don't have to like go around in circles, because some blush brushes are really small, but you can just apply it straight back and forth and it's fine, and it'll blend itself. You don't have to, go all over the place. Alright, and then now, actually also what you can do is, you can apply blush to the tip of your nose. It kind of, especially in the winter, I know a lot of people do that. It gives a little bit of color and flush like you've been outside, which I don't understand the point of calling it like you've been outside, because I don't want to be outside, it's cold, but but you can apply it to the tip of your nose, see if you like it. And then now for highlighter. So I'm going to use this same e.l.f. palette again. I'm going to use this highlighter shade Clearly. I like it because it's hit pan on it. But I'm going to take my glasses off for this so I can see better, actually, because my glasses cover it up. But so what I use for highlighter is this blending brush. I actually don't think you can get this particular one anymore, but you can probably find a similar one. It's a really fluffy, loose eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to take that shade and load it up, especially if you're using one that's not too pigmented. If you're using like an Ofra highlighter, barely tap it one time. But if you're using any other one, just go in pretty hard. So what I do is I put it right on if you're feeling of your cheekbone, not the farthest out point, but just slightly above that. So right here. See, I just applied it straight without blending it. So you can kind of maybe see, I don't know if the light's too bright or not, but then I blend it out, and I blend the highlighter up just a little bit too. And this color is a good natural color. It's not super bright. I would honestly, this is one that I would use if I wasn't wearing much makeup. That would be better than like something super bright. No, don't know where I was going with that. But and then I also apply some, usually before I put on lipstick, but I just applied everything else this time. But I put it right here, like right above and kind of up on those Cupid's bow lines that go up toward your nose. Just kind of makes that stick out a little bit. And if I'm wearing a super matte full coverage and I still want that dewy look on my skin, I will take a little bit of it and tap off and just like blend it very, very softly over my forehead to give it that kind of glowy. And also I used to really love putting it right here above like the high point of my brows. And this only works again with a supernatural one like this. I don't know what that does. It kind of lifts that area a little bit, And then you can, if you want, put it down your nose. Like I said, there's no right and wrong, but unless you have like a super tiny nose, I probably wouldn't put highlighter on the tip of it, especially if you have a larger nose like I do. It just kind of makes it look bigger, because if you highlight things, you bring them forward. If you contour or shadow things, it brings them back. So if you highlight the tip of your nose, it's going to make it look longer. It looks really cute on somebody with a really small nose, but of course do whatever the heck you want, because there are no rules. But that's just my advice. So that is it. That is all of the bronzer, contour, blush, and highlighter done. If you have any questions, let me know. This video has been kind of long, but there was a lot to cover. So if you have any other specific questions that I didn't mention, let me know in the comments, and I might do a follow-up video. And I'm also thinking about doing a cream tutorial. Let me know about that. My hair has been falling out lately. So let me know if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe so you don't miss any other videos. And let me know if you have any suggestions for other ones down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.